Hey everybody, what's up? This is Retrokid Reviews. By the time you're seeing this video should be out on Monday. And hopefully I am having a better time, basically, with my family, post my brother's long overdue wedding. So with that all being said, congratulations to the two of them, and I will probably talk more about that in my socials than I will be on my channel. So, with that said, this is really me being bored after a lot has happened the last couple of weeks, my country-wise, being in the States and all that stuff. So, but time does not wait for no one. I'm going to try my best to do some stuff. Speaking of political turmoil with my country, I do have a movie recommendation I was glancing over, is Rebel Ridge. The main reason why I watched it is that Aaron Pierce, if I got his name right, my apologies. All IMDb's to every show I've watched this month will be down below, and movie in this case. He's got a good chance of being, I think, on Stuart Green Lantern for the Lantern show that comes out, and I don't know if it's this or 2026, so I'll figure that out as time goes. Also, since I'm here and I want to do roundups, the main reason I feel kind of bummed is that I'm not doing a full MCU breakdown for the new Thunderbolts and Brave New World trailer. I'll probably dedicate, hopefully, next week a full MCU roundup just for that alone, and anything I might have missed Toku-wise with Kamar, Gav, and hopefully new details with that final arc that's starting to shape into get into shape when it comes to Boom Boonger, now that there's teases that Gokaiger might show up. So with general stuff out of the way, on to my thoughts of Rebel Ridge. It's a really damn good action thriller. Came out September 6th of this year, 2024. Ironically, my birthday, so sweet little present. It was directed by Jeremy Saulnier, if I got his name right. I remember him from the Green Room movie he did with Anton Yellis, the late Anton Yellis, so Retrokid there, I guess, if anything else. And yeah, this movie is very high octane in like the drama department. Don Johnson plays a damn good corrupt cop with a small town that's just basically trying to transition into weirder, harder tactics and stuff like that. And Anna Sophia Robb, I think I remembered her from, I think, Breach of Terabithia, so an amazing glow up for her performance wise. So I won't leave too much into it. Essentially, the plot is basically a former Marine trying to get his cousin out of jail, and the cops are making it harder on him as time goes on, to a point of almost like my generation's equivalent, basically like Rambo First Blood. It's like, how far can you push a former vet before he has to, be what he was? So that's kind of the brass strokes of the whole thing. The drama, like I said, is more haunting. You get a feel for like the town just being on its last legs for like any and all sense of stability, I guess, in a lot of ways. So I'll leave it at that, and go to it on Netflix because it's out there. It's been out for the last 3 months. I hope it gets a little bit of Oscar contention. I doubt it. Because I hope the same thing too for Green Room back in the day. So if anything, it's an above average thriller if you're looking into that kind of stuff as like a comfort from what's been going on lately. Hopefully. So on to traditional stuff here. I've sat through the last 3 episodes of The Penguin, and yeah, I wish I had time to do this as a Jason review, but without question, I just come off of I think yesterday after this recording, basically watching it all in a row, and it definitely reaffirmed a lot of stuff. It reaffirmed exactly what kind of guy Oz is going to be going forward into the Matt Reeves side of the crime saga entry into the DCU. And ultimately, Colin Farrell is magnificent. Like, he is, when it is on, when he's in the suit, when you see him be Oz, this, like, all 8 episodes long, you're just, like, sucked into it. You don't see that it's a guy in a suit. You don't see that. They made it evidently clear in, like, the pilot when he was getting interrogated by Sophia Falcone, sorry, in this case now, Gigante? My apologies. She went back to her mother's maiden name in the back half of the season. Well, in this case, a miniseries. There's talks of it getting a season 2. I don't know, honestly. It left a really good fitting end for Oz to transition him back into the Batman movies, if anything else. So mileage may vary there if that is at all true. For Frances Dornor O'Connell, she did a fantastic job emphasizing Frances's like dementia that was happening all throughout the series, to the point where Julian, played by Theo Russell. Last note here, obviously my first half of this review, but also of my reviews of when he was Shades back in like Luke Cage for the Netflix stuff on Marvel then. So yeah, it's very well rounded and stuff. Eve, Carl, a sex worker that was on again, off again with Oz. Played by Carmen Elgo. My apologies if I got her name wrong. She actually put a lot of emphasis. She showed a lot of like strength, trying to like hold out as long as she could before she had to give up Oz by the end of the series. So for Christina Malnali, who was Sophia, she was insanely good. Like, you definitely saw a lot of her backstory. I forgot. I think when I clock off doing reviews here was before I think I got into her flashback episodes. Now doing that, I could absolutely see why she wanted to burn the whole family down, wanted to do what she did. So I'm trying to be non-spoilery for most of these reviews. Essentially, there's going to be no final scores for almost all of them. The only one that's going to get final scores is probably going to be my next show coming up in the time slot. So go there if you guys want to see that. So my overall thoughts before I get to my final ratings, probably in the shorts or probably as a 5-minute Jason update review. It's a good show. Like, if you really needed like a better context to what's going on, I highly recommend seeing the movie first before going back into this world with the series. Now on to the rumor mill. I don't really know if they're gonna do a Barry Keoghan Joker series that they teased in that deleted scene that got viral after the movie, and I think when he was showed up at the end of the theatrical cut of the movie, so I don't really know. So go to any news on that, if that's still in the rumor mill. If not, check out the deleted scene, see if if that's worth it alone to merit a whole show. In Sophia's scene, since I'm talking about Joker related stuff, when you see her in like Arkham, you can see how broken it is, and it's always like that with like any interpretation of Gotham. But in this particular case, it just feels more disenfranchised. It feels underfunded and overfunded in like the weirdest aspects and sectors. It's a lot of things like that. I forgot to mention the backdrop of why most of I guess Gotham was look more underground and ruined than usual. I kind of mentioned it was basically because of the third act of the previous movie, which made a lot of sense at the time. Turns out, though, I feel like it's another adaptation of, like, No Man's Land. It's one of those rare stories of, like, Gotham being underfunded, mainly because of nature reasons instead of man-made reasons. And the city just kind of ate itself alive kind of stuff in, like, that kind of aspect. The reason why No Man's Land is so prevalent to the comics nowadays is because I think Harley got introduced there and Cassandra came before she was Batgirl later on in the comics. Was that going to be the case here? No, not really. Now, there's a big elephant in the room I forgot to mention, and it's Victor, played by Rene Valles, last known here when I was reviewing, I think, the Runaway series back in the day. So, you can definitely tell he has gone through a journey in the last 3 episodes. He went from, like, a plucky upstart kid. He was worried that he was always going to get killed by Oz by any moment, but he gained a lot of, like, false confidence through Oz that kind of did him in the end. I'll talk more about his death scene as Jason. That's like the big spoiler I want to get out of the way. Like, that's kind of the whole point of basically Oz is like he's still like the traditional Batman villain you guys know. He just like plays the game a little different now. That's really it. I think a lot of them paraphrase like that in their monologues too. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Right now, temperature check on just seeing the last 3 episodes of Penguin is basically a 10 on the regular Retrokid review scale. I might make it a high 5s when I'm Jason, so that's a minor spoiler there. Sorry to say. I need some time to digest these episodes. Again, this is my first day after the marathon, so I'll see if anything still sticks. I think some of it will in the final ratings for that. So I'll say that at the very least when I get back to the channel as Jason. 2 last entries. I'll go the one I'm still currently watching, the Netflix Tomb Raider series. I think it's pretty good. Haley Atwell's doing a good job with the character. If anything, I would totally see her voice act the regular games by not Square Enix. My apologies. I think it's still Square. Let me know who still owns them video game wise production. Let me know in the comments down below. But the voice casts are pretty stellar. I'm very happy they got greenlit for season 2. I am hoping that there's another game in the future to like tie into it a little bit better. Stunts-wise is pretty good. The animation is more fluent than the next entry here, Vox Machina at times. But you could also tell Vox Machina had a really good, fun last 3 episodes as well. So just gonna cut the time slot here and say, please go see Tomb Raider's Netflix animated series. The name escapes me. If the trailer's there, you'll get the idea from there. It looks good. It's very fluent for the flash animation that you think. So yeah, back to regular schedule stuff here for the channel to close out. Legend of Vox Machina season 3. The final 3 episodes. The Raishan siege was amazing. The Kurma Conclave arc is a little bittersweet now knowing that Lance is gone, but it did show that he didn't get replaced halfway through the battle with a stand-in voice alike. They did the right thing and finished the scenes to completion. They got a little lucky there, if anything, in CR's case and probably Amazon's as well. As for the voice cast, Critical Role cast have definitely know their Camper One characters like a book. So much so I'm recording this as of their latest 4-sided dive, so go to the cards there. I guess his last cards. And I think they said in their interviews for where they were coming back into Campaign 3, like, they just got really comfortable. They got a more lived-in history with them outside of the game, going back into it with actual play for Campaign 3. But you're not here for Campaign 3 content yet. You're here for my overall thoughts for those final 3 episodes. The biggest controversy I've heard so far is that there were some slight divergences from the actual play, namely Percy's resurrection. Essentially, from what I've told from the actual play is that he was already revived by the time they made it a Whitestone, not the full procession of his funeral, and then after the final battle of the Conclave, he gets resurrected. Another big divergence from, I'll just get my other retcon they did out of the way before I get to my overall thoughts with that, is Scanlan's Bard's Lament. I think in the campaign he's a lot older than he's perceiving in the series, and I think even in Campaign 3 he's doing his midlife crisis in the most gnomish way possible, and very Scanlan of him. Again, you're not here for my overall thoughts. I did talk about that in my Campaign 3 video, so again, my apologies, but lastly, for character stuff, I am really not a huge Kiki stan for the actual series, but Campaign 3 has definitely drove my motivation to, like, get her a little better, especially for pretty much all the religions presence that was in Campaign 1, now going into Campaign 3. That a lot is on the line for, like, the endgame arc for Campaign 3. It's a lot of that. Essentially, her Earth Ashari form was finally realized. That's where I kind of don't know what is exactly from accuracy-wise from the actual play. A lot of people said, like, no, aside from the feeble mind that she didn't perform in the show, it's more or less the same thing, but with extra steps, essentially. That's kind of the thing with most of the actual play divergences, is, like, it's there, they still got there, they just wanted to, I guess, for future seasons, just let it breathe a little more. From what I'm told, that there's also a 1-year time jump, because, again, actual play-wise, I think Ashley Johnson was just getting into her, still a few seasons into Blind Spot at the time, and they were also busy with projects and stuff. I think even more so than they are nowadays. Now they got a world tour coming up. So, yeah, so with me plugging end cards, by the way, to my previous video, which was, yes, of course, talking about their Halloween episode, and other hand here to the channel, hit the notification bell down below, and yeah, previous short, they will also be talking about that said episode after, I think, the Halloween episode, which was more Vox Machina related content. So yeah, final scores before we leave. Still a 10 in the belt. And sorry, I'm already into Campaign 3 talk in Vox Machina's case. With that all being said, I am Retrokid Reviews. Thank you so much for sitting through this jarring / transitional rambling for the November roundup for shows. If there's a show or movie I missed that was out in November, please let me know in the comments down below. And until then, take care, subscribe. You're not alone if you're my American subscribers, knowing what's going to be ahead of us the next 4 years. I will always, when times of crisis happen in the next 4 years, put charities down below. I will also do the same as well. I will definitely put Trevor Project, ACLU, for what's going on forward. And until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and yeah, these shows are gonna have a very fun next season. If Oz gets the second season, he's gonna be even darker than he looks, and he did a lot of comatose stuff with his mom. Just saying.